well. Let's also welcome on board now Sanjay Sethi, MD and CEO at Chalet Hotels Ltd. He joins in on the show now that hotels in Maharashtra are allowed to open with a 30% capacity. Let's take stock of situation with the hotel industry per se. Sanjay, hi, good afternoon. Finally, I'm sure you must be heaving a sigh of relief. Tell us about the safety measures that you've put in place. Are you skeptical about actual business being generated in the initial days, even though states like Maharashtra have now allowed hotels to resume operations?
It's an absolute delight that we are finally allowed to open our hotels. We are allowed to open up to 1/3 of capacity as far as rooms are concerned, and a lot of our portfolio was sitting in Maharashtra, so it's from our perspective, a great move. In terms of demand, look, demand will pick up with time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will pick up, in a graded fashion from the time we open. So the earlier we open, the better it is. So from that perspective, the earlier the fact that we've opened Maharashtra out, it's a great relief. Our hotels in Bangalore and Hyderabad are already operational for the last few weeks, and we've seen some amount of occupancy build up. The challenge in those cities obviously was that the feeder cities of Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Chennai were not open. And with them opening now, I think there will be some demand generation and flow of movement. We are completely prepared, and we've been prepared for several weeks now. All the protocol has been laid out, rolled out, it's in place. You got to also understand that most of our hotels actually stayed open during this lockdown period because we had these special purpose groups staying at our hotels. So our team's well practiced, and the protocols are well entrenched in our operating systems to take care of future guests coming in. With them opening demand generation and flow of movement, we are completely prepared. And we've been
Okay. When do you see the real business starting? One is the permission which the state government has given. Second is intention for people to start availing those services.
Yes, because I think there will be some lag. It will take some time. We'll see gradual build up. The special purpose groups continue to come and use our facilities. I think what's needed from here onwards is for the government, the local governments, to start now opening out more capacity, number one. And I guess today's day one of 33%. I hope in the next couple of weeks we'll hit 50% and then beyond after that. Very critical to allow us to open up some of the facilities in the hotels. So as we open out, for example, our bars and restaurants, it'll give another reason for not just business travelers or people coming from other cities, but people from our own city also to check in for staycations. So we see that as a segment, a strong segment in the early weeks of opening up. We've had a lot of requests from a lot of companies who are project-based businesses who need to move people into Mumbai and other cities in large groups so that they can start working on those projects. So we do feel that the demand will pick up. I think it'll take anywhere between 2 weeks to 6 weeks to hit demand, which can take us maybe to 30, 40, 50% occupancies, depending on the city that we are in and the locations that we are in those cities. But there's definitely a lot of demand. You could also understand a lot of hotels are not opening up. And because, for them, it's not viable to open with 33% capacity. Now think of a hotel which is only 30, 40, 50 rooms in size. They can't open 10 rooms, and operate the hotel and the operating costs that come with it. So from that perspective, I do see supply side being weak. We do believe that the 33% permission that we have, we should be able to hit 60, 70% of that 33% pretty quickly.
Your understanding of definition of banquet halls and other basic services which hotels also provide, because 33% hotel is defined in terms of occupancy, but banquet halls and other services like business centers, those typically will have a different definition because they don't come under the category of banquets, under occupancy.
True. So what they've allowed right now is 33% of room capacity. We are allowed to operate restaurants in Maharashtra only for the resident guests as of now. We do believe in the near future that will be opened out to non-residents also. What's critical is to allow us to start serving beverages, liquor, beer, etc. Because people who are coming and having to spend long stays in hotels need their own means of unwinding also. So I believe once that happens, there will be significant traction. Right now, banquet capacity is limited by guidelines from MHA and the state government guidelines. For example, MHA has a limitation on 50 people to a wedding. We've actually approached the MHA through the associations to de-link it from an event and link it to square footage that's available at the venue of the event. So if a venue of an event can take, with social distancing, 100 people, why not allow that? Because ultimately the goal is to allow the events to happen, but with proper social distancing norms. So we've made that plea. We are hoping that we will hear back from them very soon.
Sanjay, I'm just curious to understand the profile of guests that you're looking at when you're looking to fill up that capacity outside of quarantine. Really, I mean, where is the demand coming from exactly, particularly for those long stay guests? Because from what we understand, business travel is at a standstill, leisure travel is at a standstill. So give me a sense of, really where you see that demand coming from.
Naming names of companies, we've got right now a good 20-odd companies that are either staying with us in Bangalore, Hyderabad, or hoping to stay with us starting today in our hotels, who have project-based businesses. These are companies who've been at a standstill, needed people or teams to travel down to Mumbai to start new projects, and they're the ones who are reaching out to us. And these are big names. I can't name them on national television, but yes, these are large companies who have their own projects which are under play right now.
All right, that gives us a bit of perspective. Thanks so much for joining us today, Sanjay, and giving us a heads up on what's in store. And congratulations, at least you've got to kick things off in Maharashtra. Must be a huge relief. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.